Okay, we're just going to dive right in. Got a question. If you could pick a superpower, what would it be? You guys can all start blurting stuff out. I know you want to say stuff.
Super strength.
Okay. Okay. What about a practical superpower? Not super strength, flight, whatever, like the ability to stare at the dishes and they're just done, or never having to do chores again is a superpower. I'd rather that than flying, to be honest with you, but brought some examples of superpower that should be relevant, that everybody should know. Who knows what this stuff is? Who can tell me what this stuff is? Okay, more specifically, what is what?
Infinity Gauntlet.
Okay.
Thor's hammer.
Okay.
An ammo box.
No one's going to guess that one. That one's going to take some exclamation. If anybody can guess it, they get 100 points, but the points don't matter.
Is it from Guardians of the Galaxy?
No. Okay, so what we have are practical examples. I mean, I think I would love the ability to just be able to snap something out of existence. Is everybody feeling okay? Mr. Stark is here if anybody's not feeling good. Oh, now I can take this thing off. I've been wearing it all day. It's super annoying, and there's all kinds of wires attached to me. I might go into cardiac arrest after I take it out. Don't know, haven't tried yet. I've been running off it for 3 days. Okay, now that's out of the way. I need 2 volunteers. I need 2 volunteers. I need a guy and a girl volunteer. Mary and Hayden. If I told you this would give you the powers of Captain Steve Rogers, would you drink it?
No.
Who's feeling brave? Okay, I need 2 people that will do it. Okay. Zach and I don't know your name. I'm sorry, I can't see your tag. We're all going to do this at once, okay? 3, 2, 1. Feeling different? Feeling any different?
Tastes good.
Okay. Well, I mean, they pretty much told him he was either going to get super strength or he was just going to about spontaneously combust. So I guess sit down and see what happens. Now that we've got that out of the way, all of these are examples of superheroes that either, thought they needed something to be a hero or needed something for their, powers to work. Tony Stark's suits don't work without an arc reactor. Thor thought he couldn't channel any power of thunder without his hammer. This is just a glove until you go on a conquest and find the Infinity Stones. This is what gives all of us power and authority. But do you need to carry it around with you everywhere you go? I mean, you got a phone now, you can do that easy, but it's better if you just know it and can use it. But now that we're through the fun stuff here, I think the best power to have would be to have everybody like you all the time, no questions asked. Bosses, friends, teachers. I mean, if everybody liked you and you had social influence beyond all measure where you could control the outcome of any situation, I think that would be a great power to have. Whether or not we realize that so much of our effort and energy goes every day towards wondering what other people think of us. Am I right or am I right? Okay, good. Interaction is welcome, because this is totally outside my element. This is true in our whole lives, but it's especially true in high school, friend groups, work, church, anywhere there's groups of people, anywhere there's acquaintances, friends. We're all measuring our standing with everyone else, fighting to see how we can keep from losing our position. Even though nobody really talks about it, the reality is most of us spend a lot of our energy and time thinking about how to keep our social standing, how to boost our social standings, tell the right jokes, post the right pictures on Instagram, sit with the right people at lunch, or whatever it is for your group. It's exhausting. It is a lot of pressure. But even though not everyone liked Jesus, he left with an incredible example of using our power, the power that all of us have, and this power, when we use it, is limitless. Even better, when you use it, it actually has the power to make you care less about whether people like you or not. We will always care, but the power repositions our desire to have people here like us. Jesus demonstrates this incredible power in a way in John 13. The story takes place the night Jesus was arrested. But he wasn't arrested for doing anything bad. He was arrested because one of his friends named Judas didn't know that snitches wind up in ditches. Virgil said I was allowed to add to the script, so I did. He sold him out to the authorities who wanted him dead. But Jesus knew this was coming, and he knew just before the arrest that his time was growing short with his closest friends. So before it all went down, he gathered them together in a room for a final meal, and at this meal, Jesus did something that shocked everyone. Before I tell you what he did, I want you to hear one of the guys here do what John said about Jesus, because John gives this incredible insight that explains exactly why Jesus did what he did and why it was so amazing. In John 13:3, Jesus knew the Father had put all things under his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. This verse is very powerful because John is telling us that Jesus truly is the most powerful person in the universe. All Jesus knew is he legitimately had, the power to make anything happen, anything not happen. Superhuman powers. So what if you were in that position where you knew you had all the power in the universe and you were about to be put to death? Let's forget about for the universe in a second. What if you were the most powerful one in the room? What would you do? How would you expect people to treat you? Questions have answers, guys. Respect. I would just want people to laugh at my jokes. I've got pretty humble requests, but it's just me. What would you do if you were simply the most powerful person here? How would you expect everyone to treat you? How would you want everyone to treat you? Most of us would probably want to be treated like royalty. I would. Everyone else would become my minions, but Jesus responded a little differently. Knowing full well the extent of his massive and impressive unstoppable power, this is what he did. In John 13:4-5, it reads, "So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying with the towel he had wrapped around him." All the power in the world goes straight to serving his closest friends. If that doesn't catch you, I really don't know what's going to. Let's put this in world's terms. Jesus stripped down to his underwear, totally vulnerable, and washed his friends' feet, knowing full well that that was the night he was going to be arrested and put to death. Maybe you're thinking, that's great, but I obviously don't have power like Jesus. No one would care if I did that. All of us, regardless of where you think you fall in the social order, have some power. We all have social power with something over someone. Think about it. Chances somewhere there's someone who affected you, has influenced you, maybe people within your social group, maybe someone, sorry about that, who is a little, lower on the social food chain than you, the kid people doesn't like, maybe somebody who's got special needs, maybe someone who, is poor, doesn't have the right stuff to fit in. Maybe you feel like you're at the bottom of the food chain, but you still have people younger than you, siblings or neighbors that look up to you. Anytime you have influence, that's power. Anytime someone looks up to you or cares about your opinion, that's power. The question for you is the same one Jesus faced. What do I do with the power I have? It was also the same question that Jesus knew his disciples would face. He knew that soon after his death, they would become unpopular people. There would be times they would feel like they had no power at all. And what Jesus was demonstrating to them and to us is the best use of the power we have, even when it's only a little, is to serve those around us. You know this already. I bet you can think of a time when someone served you, someone who didn't have to, Someone who didn't owe you anything. Someone who went out of their way to do something for you. And what did you think about that person afterwards? Did you like them less or more? Did you care more or less about their opinion? Obviously, the answer is more. When you use your influence to benefit someone else, it only gives you more influence and your power is multiplied. My question is, what would it look like for you to do this? Use, the power that you have to change somebody's day. Changing a day could change someone's life. That could be the day they were, getting ready to do something drastic. I'm going to put a couple points up on the screen. Asking questions to someone about their life and their day. Talking to someone who rarely gets talked to or is acknowledged, lunch is arbitrary, but in a social setting of any sort, work, school, here, at home. Taking an interest in someone who feels invisible. Asking someone to join your group project who may not have a group. Passing the ball to someone in practice even if they're awful. Treating someone younger than you like they're cool. Or simply giving someone a compliment, whether they deserve it or not, I guess is relative, but that can change your whole day. I know it does mine. You may know how it feels when it happens to you. A simple compliment can change your whole day, maybe your whole week. You can have that kind of power over someone else. And this could be a friend, an enemy, a brother, a sister, anyone. Remember that big power comes from small acts. You don't have to solve world hunger. You have the power right now to dramatically affect someone's day. What would it look like if you did this just for a week, just for a day? What would happen with your friends at school, your family, people you work with? I think as a group, one of the biggest power plays we can make in the world around us is we have to learn to use the power to serve others. In fact, I'm challenging everybody to adopt one day a week where they will commit to using whatever social power they have to serve or encourage someone else. Let's take this a little further here. I want everybody to think of something. Move some stuff around here. Think of something that keeps them from talking to that person that doesn't have a lot of friends, hanging out with that person that's, not high on the totem pole. There's no wrong answers. Pride. Fear. Writing backwards is hard. What else? There's lots of room. I need a couple more at least. There you go. Judgment. What about, fear of being the one that gets bullied? If you reach out to the kid that is getting bullied. It's enough for now. But, we could go on and on and on and on and on and on. I had 3 bricks ready in case we went on and on and on. But, set aside, your inhibitions, your feelings to help somebody who, that might be, like I said, that might be the day they were deciding to do something drastic. That might be the day that they said, I have no friends. Life is senseless. And this is my last day here. I'm going to go in and lately these days on the news, to be brutally honest, you're lucky if they just take themselves out and don't take a whole room or a whole building with them. But that said, think of this. Think of this as God. Think of this as, your protection. None of that lasts. None of that matters. So to bring this all in, did you ever think of yourself as having any kind of real power? Even over small situations, something that seems totally insignificant? When you use your power for someone else's benefit, you have unlimited impact. That hammer weighs 50 pounds. I have 50 pounds worth of impact I can throw with that thing, but with my actions, I can throw limitless impact on others. So, as you guys come into your small groups today, I'm going to take the blanket off that thing. I want each of you guys to come take a piece of this. Remember tonight, and when you think, hey, you know, I'm worried about me more than I'm worried about, you know, somebody else. I don't want to do this because you know it's going to make me the one that's not cool. It's going to make me the one that might be in that same spot. All kinds of loud noises. That's my kind of message. So she's going to put up on the screen who goes where for small groups. You guys got lots of time in small groups to talk about this because I'm not long-winded at all. I mean, unless we get this to where I can snap and start this whole lesson over.